Yo, what's good, gang? Hope you're doing fine. This video is going to be pretty basic video for those who don't know how to draw supply and demand correctly or what sort of supply and demand they should take. Step by step, I'm gonna be dropping pretty good educational content in this channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, definitely you should consider subscribing to my channel and make sure to like this video so that I stay motivated to post more in this YouTube on this YouTube channel. And yeah, let's go, man. So I'm gonna keep this pretty raw. As you guys all know, I don't really like to edit my videos and all. I'll just go with the flow. And I just do the video in one take, bro. I don't like to edit it and things like that. So this video can be a little bit longer than the usual, so make sure to stick with it. And at the end of the video, or hopefully the next video, I don't know, I'm gonna be dropping a giveaway of 20k account, my forex fund account, probably the 10k or the 20k. I'm gonna do one. Maybe it can be 10k and or maybe can 20k, depends upon the situation. Whatever comes to my mind or whatever is suitable for me, I'll just do it, because at the end I'll just do it for the community. And I don't really want to keep the things to myself. So let's begin, bro. So first of all, let's discuss the types of the demand and supply. All right, so first is ideal demand or supply. All right, and one by one I'm gonna be discussing everything. Second is weak demand or supply, and the third one is range or mid-range demand or supply. All right, I'm gonna be giving detailed information, like very detailed information on these kind of supply and demand zones. All right, first we will start with the basic. What is ideal demand or supply? To understand this, you need to understand what is imbalance. All right, so let's discuss about the imbalance. Imbalance is simply inefficiency in the price. What do I mean by this? Candles print in normal way, like higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And if I show you the detailed example of that in the form of candles, price candle will be something like this, and next candle will be something like this. All right, next candle will be something like this. I'm really pretty terrible at drawing this thing, but you know what I'm trying to explain to you. I'll be diving deep into the video and examples, so no problem. We will be discussing everything about it. Okay, so first you have to understand what is imbalance. Imbalance is simply inefficiency in the price. This is simply the efficient way of the price moving in uptrend or maybe the downtrend. All right, it will respect that highs, respect the lows. It will move in very efficient way. What do I mean by that is, let's just bring it a little bit down. So as you guys can see here, all right, this is efficiency. Price is moving in very efficient way. Like there is higher high. Overall don't look at that, but just focus on this one. This is the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, then again higher high, then this is lower low, and so on. All right, and if we study that in the perspective of the candles, so what do you see? You see this is the higher high, higher low, this is the lower high, this is the lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. All right, now in this candles, they are filling each other, at least the half. All right, as you can see, it is pulling back and it is also pulling back, it is also pulling back. All right, it is the efficient way of the price moving in downtrend. All right, if we see the inefficiency in the price, it will be like this: higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and so on. But this is the inefficiency where the price never pulled back. So this is, we call that, we call inefficiency in the price. So if you see here, there is also inefficiency in the price. As you see, price just wigged into the inefficiency and move all the way to the downside. All right, I can't really delete it because I think I was having a drawing right here. Oh, I think it is removed. No problem. I'm gonna be undoing everything. All right, so now you know what is inefficiency in the price. We call it imbalance when the price is not moving in the normal way. Suppose this is the candle and next candle simply move like this without pulling back, like this, without pulling back. All right, let me draw it like this. So this whole area, let me draw one more candle, just like this. I'm pretty terrible at drawing, I'm saying it again, no problem, but yeah. So now this whole area would be the imbalance where the price can pull back and it can move to the upside. On the lower time frame, there can be some kind of auto block. In this example, there won't be auto block, but or the demand or supply. I'll be diving deep into it, no problem. So let's now discuss about the clean demand or supply. Oh man, why it is not erasing that? All right. So ideal demand and supply. So ideal demand and supply is simple when the price, let me draw it like this. When the price breaks structure, all right, and there is inefficiency in the price, all right, and there is the sponsor candle which initiated the move, we call it ideal demand or supply. In this case, it is the supply. All right, price will pull back to that ideal demand or supply which left it the inefficiency or the imbalance, and price will simply continue its direction. All right, so now let's just see it live. All right, so now to see it live, let's just take this. As you can see, price broke this structure, as you can see, and there is inefficiency in the price. So now, which was the sponsor candle? You can either take this whole candle, all right, so price came back, as you can see, price just touched, reversed, touched again, and then again. You definitely can trade this reaction. All right, we will be diving more deep into this example. Like in this case, there was no inefficiency, as you can see. Price, there was small imbalance which price did filled and show the reaction, but here there was no inefficiency, price was pulling back, so this was not the ideal demand or supply. Let me discuss more about it. Let's go to the 4 hour for that, because 4 hour is very good time frame to just plot these kind of as you can see here, we have break of structure, and from where that move is generated, this is small imbalance, this is whole inefficiency. So which was the sponsor candle? In this case, this was the sponsor candle. Price just wigged above, maybe this was in news, so still it is valid. The price needs to close above to invalidate this. This is the rangy market. Let's go to the proper good market condition. In this, price broke the structure, or you can say the lower low. In this case, this was the lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, again the lower high. Now this is the inefficiency in the price, all right, and which was the sponsor candle? This, from here the move was generated, price pulled back, and definitely you can trade that reaction. All right, so now let's just move forward. Now price broke this small structure, this was the imbalance, as you can see, imbalance, all right, which was the sponsor candle. So definitely this was, all right, so price just pull back and reaction. So this all became the liquidity for us. This all the things. Maybe I'll be covering this in the next video, so that's why I mentioned make sure to subscribe it. So this was the supply. We can talk about the demand a little bit. So let's go to the bullish market so that we can discuss about it. All right, there's not really good. This is only bearish market. All right, this from here there is kind of bullish market. This is the mid-range demand, so I'll be covering it I'll be covering it shortly, so we won't be discussing about this. This is still the supply imbalance left, price reacted off it, so I'm not really finding a good example of this. This was a demand, but price never came to the demand. So but still you could have marked this as a demand. Price broke out of this and we got very much lot of imbalance, and this was the sponsor candle. Price never tapped that, no problem. Maybe the momentum was pretty strong. All right, so no problem. So we can consider that. All right, this was a mid-range, so I'll be covering it in near future. This was again a mid-range, but still we can consider it. This the bearish market. Let's go to the more. All right, this is the bullish market. All right, so price broke this structure. This is the wick. So from where that move was generated, there was small imbalance, so I can mark this whole area. So price just tapped that and boom, rejected. All right, this was kind of range demand, but still there was small imbalance. As you can see, small imbalance, so still we can consider that. This was little tricky, but once you plot it and once you practice this, it will be really fine. All right, so now let's go more. All right, price broke that. There was a lot of inefficiency. Price never tapped there, but no problem. Sometimes price don't, because there was liquidity. Price took out this liquidity in a form of wick and price tapped that. So I cover this in detail in my mentorship, so if you're really interested, you can approach, you can just DM me. I'll be just going for it. So in this case, as you can see, price broke out of this tiny structure, and this was the last demand. All right, don't focus here, just focus here. There was imbalance left. All right, price tapped this. You can trade this reaction. All right, so I mean, I hope you got my point. There is simply like this is also the demand, but in this case price never tapped that, so no problem. Price just tapped this imbalance and just boom, rejected. Let's cover one more last example. We have a lot of example of the supplies, but there is not a lot of example of the demand. Let's go to the 1 hour. Maybe we can see a lot of structural levels there. So here it was also the clean demand. Why? Because price broke this extreme high from where that move was generated, right from here, and we have the imbalance in between. So this was your demand. Price tapped this demand and showed the reaction even more, and you can trade that. I hope you got this. And now let's just discuss about oh, I think I deleted that, but no problem. Next was the mid-range supply or demand. It simply comes in the middle of the range, or it can be like this also. It can be like this. Like in the ideal demand or supply, we was taking the extreme, all right? But in this case, sometimes price don't come to extreme. Price just react in the middle of the range, or it can be anywhere, all right? So what do I mean by this? Let's just draw it cleaner here. So what do I mean by this? Price is just moving in a good manner, all right? All right, price broke this high. All right, it was a break of structure. You can even mark it like this. All right, now what is the mid-range demand or supply? In this case, this was the middle of the range. Why I say this was the middle of the range? Because this is the range. All right, this whole area is the range, and this is the middle of the range. All right, this is the mid, as you can see. So price will just tap the mid range from where that move was generated, and price will simply react from there. All right, to make it cleaner, let's just dive more deep into it. So here price broke the structure. Now what caused that break? This candle. All right, this was the mid-range supply. Vice versa, if this was the bullish scenario, this was a mid-range demand. In this case, price broke this structure. All right, what caused that break? I would say this area. There is a lot of choppiness going on, so let's just mark this candle. All right, price just wicked above in the form of liquidity. Still, that is fine. I'm gonna cover it. I'll cover the liquidity concept soon, so maybe I'll be dropping it in near future. In this case, this was extreme, but still price broke the structure. Now what caused that? This is not the inefficiency right now going on. There is no inefficiency. So this wick was the mid-range supply on the lower time frame. Let's go to the 15 to just discuss more about it. As you can see, price broke the structure. In this case, this was the ideal 15 minute barely tapped that, so maybe we have to consider the 30 in this case. So as you can see, this was the ideal demand or supply, in this case supply, because there was there was still the imbalance going on. So, all right, so this was pretty good, but on the 1 hour this was wick. So I'll be covering it right now after I cover this topic. So as you can see, this was the break of structure, and this was also the clean demand. So let's just leave it. I'm just talking about the mid-range demand or supply, which is in the middle of the range, or sometimes we can't really find that. All right, so like as you can see here, price broke out of this extreme high. All right, what caused that break? This mid candle. So price tap that. You can trade this reaction. This is the 4 hours, so there will be a lot of pips going on. All right, so this was a mid-range demand. Vice versa, it can be supply also. So here also, as you can see, this is in the middle of the range. So price broke out of this, and this was the sponsor candle which caused that break. So this is in the middle of the range, as you can see. This is in the middle, right? So we call this, I call this mid-range demand or supply. In this case, it was the demand. So same here, not so well. This was the wick. I'm gonna cover it. This was also kind of mid-range supply, because it is still in the middle of the range. Still, it is the clean supply because it has imbalance. So you can call it anything that you want. It can be mid-range, or it can be clean or ideal supply or demand. All right, this was the wick. I'll be covering it, no problem. So this was also sort of in the middle. Yeah, this is a good example. So price broke out of this structure, and what caused that break? This area. All right, so we can draw it. So this was the mid-range demand, because this is in the middle of the range. As you can see, this is the range, this is in the middle. Not the middle, but still kind of in the range, I would say, but still. So price respected that, and boom, right? Vice versa, it can be on the supply side. Price broke this extreme, or you can take even this. What caused that break? This area. So this was the mid-range. You can even mark this as a whole area. There is no really hard rule. You just have to observe from where that move was initiated. You can say right here. All right, you can even take this whole candle. That is also fine. All right, So that is totally up to you. So vice versa on the supply side. All right, this was kind of the clean demand or supply. Price just broke out of this, but still it is valid because it didn't close it. This might be the liquidity spot for the price. In this case, this would be the mid-range demand, but price never tapped that, so no problem. Sometimes price don't. All right, so this is sort of this on the lower time frame. This must be a mid-range supply, so I'm not going to be focusing too much on that. So this was also the mid-range because this is in the middle of the range. Price broke that, and this is the demand. All right, in this case we are not taking the extreme. All right, in this case we are just talking about the middle range. In this case, price respected that, and boom. All right, I hope you got this. Now, even if you have any questions, you can just drop it down in the comments. So in this case, this was in the middle of the range. All right, price respected that. In this case, price don't have to tap all the way to the downside. It will just be in the middle of the range. Like in this case, price never tap here. All right, it's just respecting the middle of the range because this is the range we are dealing with, and price just tap in the middle of the range, and boom, it shows the good reaction. All right, so now let's just talk about the third example, which is the wick demand or supply. In the statement or in the word itself, it is clear the wick which we can use as the demand or the supply. All right, so what do I mean by this is price will simply, like, price moves in very normal way, like it's creating minimal wicks and price move that. But sometimes there is large wick and price shot up. In that large wick we can find the demand. All right, what do I mean by this is, suppose if there is the candle, all right, and the candle is moving in a normal way like this. Wait, it is not taking me there, but anyways, let's just try a little bit like this. All right, now it will. Let's try it huge. All right, so now this is very abnormal way for the market to move because this huge wick is simply liquidity spike for us. All right, in future we can use this as supply. Price will tap that supply, react off it, and we can trade it. All right, now let's just dive deep into the examples. All right, so now what is wick demand or supply? In this case, this was huge wick. All right, price reacted off that. No worries, it is in the downtrend, I know that, but this is kind of the advanced concept here. I'm just trying to show you how to draw it. All right, I'm not talking about the entries right now. Maybe in near future, if you want me to cover the more detailed aspects of this strategy, then drop the comments down below. Make sure to like it and subscribe it. As I mentioned, I'll definitely cover that video, more details concept. In this case, this was very abnormal way for the price to move. All right, this price tapped this wick. Price also broke the structure. You can even take this structure. All right, price tapped that wick, and boom, this was pretty huge wick. So I mean, you can't really mark this as the block because this is pretty huge, so you can't really do that. All right, so let's just find more examples of that. Like in this case, price broke this structure, and this was the wick which created that break and respected that, and boom. All right, this was the clean supply because it left it small imbalances. All right, still we can call it the ideal demand or supply, so it's valid. Now this was good point, but in this case price never holded that. It's not like 100% like price will hold the supply or demand. It's just, I mean, it's the probability. All right, so we can't really, in this case this was also the demand, but maybe something was here which caused this. So this was all liquidity, as you can see, trendline liquidity. I cover this concept, these kind of concepts in my mentorship. So if you are really interested, you can just look for that. It's barely cheap. I mean, I'm not charging like a lot of money like other mentors, like $500, $1,000. I don't feel that you need to pay this much, because everything is free on the YouTube, and you're basically just paying how they kind of structure, how they have structured their things. All right, the fundamentals that they are teaching is always free on the YouTube, all right, or any free form. But you are just paying them to learn that concepts again, that is already free, and how they're using it. All right, it's not fair. Like, if that concepts are free, available for free, then why they're charging like $500,000 for that? Like, it doesn't make sense. All right, I hope you got my point. So in this case, price broke this. All right, and this was a wick which sponsored the move, so price came to the wick and boom, rejected. All right, this was equal lows, price took out the liquidity. I mean, I cover these concepts in my mentorship, so if you're interested, you can check it out, bro. You won't be disappointed, to be honest. So this was also the wick. All right, price tapped that wick, liquidated the move, no problem. Sometimes it does. All right, we accept that, no problem. So this was also the supply. In this case, price didn't hold it that, so no problem, still part of a game. In this case, this was a flip. We can trade a flip. I covered these kind of concepts in my class, so if you're interested, you can check it out. So in this case, this was the clean supply. All right, but I mean, this was the wick. Price broke that and it created the demand, so we can trade it. But this was valid. All right, if you draw it like this was valid. I won't say this was not valid. Don't ask somebody like why it doesn't hold it. It was not just the probability. All right, was not just the probability and things like that. All right, this whole wick was the demand. Price respected that and boom. Just test it, guys, and do let me know what you want to see next. And like, if I cover the live market, this would be the clean supply. Price can respect that and still can drop that and still can go up, because this is the liquidity which price has to cover. Yeah, so that's all for this video, guys. Hope you guys know now how to draw the clean demand and supply. Yeah, and one thing more, guys, there is a flip zone also. I think you don't need to know that. Maybe on the next video I can cover that. Probably these three types of the demand or supply you need to cover. Just go on the different time frames to plot it and see how this thing is working out for you. And yeah, good for now, guys. I'm gonna end it right here. Thanks for sticking till the end, and make sure to subscribe it, guys, and see you till the next